Hello there everybody, this is Krista. Welcome back to the Krista Chronicles, and today we're doing a bit of a comparison between the indie edition and the new upcoming mass market edition of the Tempest Tarot. Now let me see if we've got a date on when that's coming out, but I am super excited to do this. This is coming out from US Games. I don't know if I said that. Okay, it is coming out at the end of April, so I'm gonna guess like Tuesday. Usually book release day is Tuesday. I'm gonna guess Tuesday, April 29th. Oh no, publication date, April 30th. My birthday! Oh, how exciting. Anyways, I'm really excited to do this, especially because I think a walkthrough of this indie version of the deck might have been my first ever YouTube video. We don't have to go back and watch, that's okay. That's okay. I can only imagine. I remember exactly how I did it. I had a phone tripod over my coffee table with the big light, the big overhead ceiling light on. I can only imagine. Anyways, but I don't know, it felt like a full circle moment of like, I've got this indie one, and now we get to go through a mass market edition, which is so exciting. So, let's get into it. I wanted to do a bit of a comparison, and then also, of course, to show off this new edition, because I have a feeling it's going to be gorgeous. So, the indie edition, I don't know that it comes with a guidebook. Let me know if I'm wrong with that. I don't remember receiving one. It might have, if it was digital. But I really love this deck. I love the backs. Could be my favorite part. I don't know why, it's just pleasing to me. And it's done on what I assume is some kind of, one of the Make Playing Cards cardstocks. My only complaint with this deck is that it's a bit thick. It's not a very bendy cardstock. Oh, I shouldn't shuffle. Oh my gosh, because I put this in order. That was a good save. It's a bit thick. And again, there isn't a guidebook with it that I personally know of, where this new mass market edition says it's got a guidebook. So let's look at what we got going on here, first of all. So we've got a tuck box. But when US Games does tuck boxes, they're that real thick, smooth feeling cardboard question mark to make it. They're very sturdy. I am a tuck box kind of gal, but usually eventually the ones like the ones the Low Scarabeo decks are in, it doesn't take too long until it's quite literally falling apart for me because I'm not gentle with them. And so then I end up, making bags to put them in. But any US Games deck I've gotten that comes with this kind of thick kind of tuck box has been perfectly fine, like still pristine. So, pleased to see that. I love all the details on here. Alright, let's take a look at the back. Tempest Tarot invites you on a nautical adventure to explore the mysteries and secrets of the oceanic realm. As you venture out beyond the shoals to those deep places that challenge you to seek the treasures of inner truth, you will find your perspective shifting. Mythic sea creatures, jaunty pirates, and enchanting sea maidens help you navigate the 78 cards of tarot, beckoning you toward new horizons of self-discovery. Includes 72-page booklet of meanings with special card spreads. Ooh, I'm so excited about that. Okay, let's get this open. I will do that. I'm doing it with a little embroidery scissor. Ooh, got it. I haven't seen anything about this. I've purposely been avoiding to have this experience. And yes, we've got the same backs. Excellent. Truly, that was my favorite part. I would have been a little sad. All right, let's take a look at the book first. This is it's not a little white book. This is a book. Super excited to see that. I love the cover. All right, we've got an introduction. And then we go right into the meanings here. Love that. It looks like we get upright, reversed. Ooh, a planet association, and then the imagery and symbolism. I like that. So it goes into the, because this, I wouldn't say it's a RWS clone at all, so it's nice that it explains the artwork. I love any book that does that. Okay, so we get, let's see, the minors. Oh, you get the same for the minors. Love that. And then it looks like we get, let's see the spreads here. 3-card tarot spread, Celtic Cross, Treasure Map tarot spread. Love that. And then the Tempest tarot spread. How to weather even the roughest times ahead. I love that. All right, should we read the... Let's read the introduction. Welcome aboard, mate. I'm so glad you've chosen to go on this nautical adventure. My name is Maisie, the creator of the Tempest Tarot, and I will be giving you a tour of this amazing little deck, including what inspired the sea theme, how it was made, why certain symbols and imagery were chosen, as well as some bonus tarot spreads at the end. So let's dive in. First things first, why the nautical theme? I've always found the ocean to be a mystical place. There's a reason sailors come home with sea myths and superstitions, and that's because, to me, the sea is a place of purgatory. When you sail out there, and I mean really out there, everywhere you look you see the horizon. There's no land, no semblance of life near you, and essentially this ocean space is an escape from reality, but also an eerie place with no way out. It's that in-between place, smack dab in the middle of the earth and the heavens. But because of that, it's where the magic happens. Being out there, it brings revelations, illusions, hallucinations, epiphanies, which is exactly what tarot is meant to do, connect you to the divine. So I like to think of the way out part of the ocean to be the good stuff, and the heart of what the Tempest Tarot attempts to be. Okay, we get some more into the construction of the deck there, but I'm going to leave it there. And, alright, I'm going to open up this plastic wrap, make sure I've got them in the same kind of order. And we'll get into comparing the cards. Alrighty, so first let's take a look at the thickness, because as I said, that was sort of one of my things with the indie, is that it felt a bit hard for me to shuffle. Alright, so indie is on the left, mass market's on the right. Okay, yes, definitely thinner. I'm so excited about that. Because I love to riffle shuffle, and when I can't, it's not the end of the world. It's not going to make me not, I don't not use a deck necessarily over that, but I can't say it doesn't affect the experience. And we'll do a riffle shuffle at the end. Maybe I'll do both, but this feels like the newer US Games cardstock where it's very bendy. So very excited about that. And I don't think there's going to be any real changes in the cards themselves, but I just thought it would be fun to side by side, right? And so far, I'm really, really digging the mass market. Already. Ooh! So, okay, what else I'm noticing is I know sometimes... Yes, we've got the 2025 US Games very, very small on the back, so it's not on the fronts. I know sometimes it gets put on the front, and people aren't crazy about that, but very small on the back, so that's exciting. Already, I can see a difference in the colors, with this feeling like that was meant to be kind of the true colors, where this got a bit faded. And that is also really exciting to me because this deck is not super colorful. It doesn't use a ton of color, but the color it does use is very purposeful, I feel, so having it be more saturated is awesome. The Magician, I love this, the idea of the compass. It's like an illustrated pips, I would say, too, in some of this. I love this High Priestess the mystery of the mermaid and how it's almost seems to me like she's holding this like crystal ball. But I suppose it could be a lot of different things. It could just be like water bending style. She's got an orb of water. But I think it's so beautiful, and really, it really captures that mystery. The Empress. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Something about the feel of this deck I love so much, and I am not an ocean theme kind of person, to be so honest. I love the ocean as something to learn about. I don't like to go in it. I think because because I spend so much time learning about it, I love learning about ocean animals and just things about the ocean. And it's, very mysterious. And so I think because of that, I don't like going in it. But anyway, and I don't really live near a beach, so, but this is my one where it's like, this is my oceany deck. And I think it's because it's pirates too. I do love pirates. Like the Emperor, we've got a pirate here. And it's like we lose that blue and we get this red that is so classic to that Emperor feel, with his boot on the treasure chest. And I love the ram's horns we get on the scepter there. The Hierophant, this I love. I really love the idea of the Hierophant being kind of this thing of like construct. And instead of seeing it in the usual kind of religion way, the idea of the map maker who does create the rules and constructs of navigating the seas. I love that. The Lovers are mermaids. Cutie. Or is it a mermaid? No, it's a mermaid and like a sailor. Yes, love it. The Chariots. Strength. And I will say, because usually I'm not one for, I shouldn't say I don't like pips. I do like pip decks, but I'm very selective about them. I don't have a ton of them. And I also don't super love very simple looking cards. But with this deck, it feels so purposeful when it gets very illustrated versus very not, because the anchor for strength on its own, like, that's enough. You know what I mean? Like, it sends such a message. The Hermit, how cute is he? The Hermit Crab is so good. I just learned, I don't know why I assumed this, because, hermit crabs the shell is not a part of them. When they grow, they move out of one shell to find a bigger shell. Which, like, I logically knew was not how all creatures of that variety worked, but we don't really have snails where I am. We get slugs, we don't really get snails, but I got snails for the little fish tank at the library. And it's so fascinating. They grow their shell alongside, like, their internal body growing. I just thought that was so neat. The Wheel of Fortune with the, what do you call that? What do you call that? The ship wheel. Is that just what? There's a word for that though, huh? I love the seagull we get in here too. It feels like this thing of, I don't know, possibility. Justice. This I find interesting, the compass as justice. To me, this feels less of a thing of, like, things balancing out fairness. Rather, it feels like, what was the word I was just thinking? Oh, I had a word in my head and it totally disappeared. Not confinement, but almost kind of like rules, regulations, natural order, I suppose, is kind of what this makes me think of how whether or not you're choosing to look at a compass, you're still gonna be, walking north, walking east. That doesn't change depending on whether you're choosing to use the tool or not. You know what I mean? I think that's an interesting take. The Hanged Man, we've got the trident upside down. So to me, it feels like someone lost this trident. Things kind of got turned on their head. This moment of pause of like, okay, well now what? Who's gonna grab it next? Death, I love this. The ship going down. And again, I love the absence of color here. Makes a lot of sense. But at the same time, there was this dark gray added for the ship. If you hear that, that's my mug and heated heated coaster, so sorry if you keep hearing that banging. Temperance, I love this with the two cups feeding into each other, the triangle, and this perfect looking ship. It's like it's everything's working how it's supposed to, is what that feels like. The devil as the giant octopus, giant octopus. Yes, not a squid. That looks like an octopus, but I love it. You know what? Let's look at the guidebook for this one, because I've never used this with a guidebook. That's really what I'm so excited about. Okay, the devil. Oh, sometimes it gives planets, sometimes it gives zodiac. That's interesting. Wait a second. Huh. That's interesting. Okay, anyway. So the zodiac here is Capricorn. This card introduces a repeating figure throughout the deck, the Kraken. Oh, it's a Kraken. Don't Krakens have beaks? Or is that just a cartoon I saw? I don't know. You'll see him make an appearance in the Tower and the Nine of Swords, but he just plays a supporting role in those cards. In this card, he's the main attraction. And the reason is that all the negative cards, quote-unquote negative cards, we meet in the tarot deck, Tower, Nine of Swords, etc., stem from one thing, toxicity, and toxicity is the devil. Oh, I love that. Again, it's one of those things where it's like with this deck, I just knew there was so much going on that I wasn't picking up on. And so having this guidebook is, and again, it could have just been that I didn't know where to get it. So, But this time it comes in the box. Hooray! This card is generally one that discusses a time when we have a negative relationship with someone or something in our life. The reason this card is so potent and difficult is because it is the gateway to all other downfalls. Negativity brings separation, Five of Swords, anxiety, Nine of Swords, self-destruction, the moon, oh that's interesting, never thought of the moon that way, and more. Now you may understand why I chose to incorporate the Kraken in all these cards. Now we gotta look out for the Kraken! What? That's crazy. There, okay, the Tower. There's the Kraken again. Which is interesting to me because here we've got the Kraken completely in the dark. The hidden devil, so to say. But now we see the Kraken is red. It's out in the light. Everything's exposed, which feels so fitting to the Tower because it's like the Tower, everything gets laid bare. You cannot deny it anymore. I love, love, love this star card, all of the treasure, and it's treasure that feels like it's sinking underwater, which is so interesting, because we get some bubbles in here, but so beautiful. The moon, also gorgeous. Now I want to see what it says about the moon. I'm fascinated by that take. What did it refer to it as? Self-destruction. I guess that doesn't always mean anything bad. The moon signifies a time when we are drawing away from reality in order to tap into our creativity and imagination. It can often be a wonderful time for artists, for example, but all too often the moon's pleasurable essence brings us to more escapist techniques aimed to forget, self-soothe, or avoid our root issues. Oh, interesting. Interesting. I like that. And I love this card. It's so pretty. The sun. The lighthouse. I mean, perfect. Judgment. Yeah, walk the plank. So perfect. And I do love. I learned this from Lisa Pupez's book, Unlocking the Tarot. I just never thought of judgment this way, as this thing of like something has happened where there's no turning back now. And I never thought of judgment that way. And this feels like it really exemplifies that. Like, I guess this figure could turn back, but it's not going to lead to a different result. And the world, the map, perfect. All right. Into our wand suit, we've got the telescope, Ace of Wands, the Two of Wands, now I feel like getting into the minors, there's not too much of a difference between the two. But we're gonna keep showing both, I don't know, feels fun. And this is definitely where it gets a bit more Pip-like. Three of Wands, but you get extra details. Because again, with this too, it's like, it feels like looking out on the horizon of the ocean. There's so much possibility and unknown. Three of Wands, you get a map, that planning phase. Four of Wands, the safety and security of the lighthouse. Perfect. Five, I mean, looks like they're all fighting over like who's gonna be the one to be the lookout. They all want to be the lookout, but they can't all do the same job. Six of Wands, the glory, finding the treasure. Seven of Wands, the vantage point. And I like too how it's like, well, these figures are kind of distracted by arguing. This figure up here has the vantage point, but also the extra added thing of he's seeing whatever is coming on the horizon through the telescope, where they're not doing that. They could just pause and also look through their telescopes, but they're not. Eight of Wands. I like this too, how you could see this as a sunrise or a sunset. And I think both kind of bring on a different meaning, which is neat. Nine of Wands. And now we've got them pointed up towards the sun, of like, you're almost there. And the Ten of Wands. Perfect, carrying all those telescopes. All right, we've got the Page. I love this. It gives that innocence of like the Little Mermaid, for example. Knight of Wands. Queen of Wands. I do love how Maisie brings in those sunflowers. It's like, even in a nautical themed deck, when it comes to the kings and queens especially, the element is still made sense of, which I think is really cool. And the King of Wands, he's on the beach, he's got the bonfire at his feet, and this real fiery sunset. Very cool. All right, Ace of Cups. The 2, look how they make a little heart. Cute. 3, a good cheers. 4 of Cups. This is interesting, huh? That kind of like melancholy wallowing. It's like you've got this skull and the cloud that's holding up this one cup. It feels like this thing of like being so fixated on one thing that you're not seeing the rest. 5 of Cups. Raining on a ship. Can't be good. I've always wondered, like, what happens when it rains out at sea? On a boat. They must have to just like scoop it out. And sometimes I really think, isn't that like so interesting to think about? Because like when you think of rain, you think of it just kind of happening around you, but probably way out at sea somewhere, there's like random rainstorms. Isn't that just, I mean, there definitely is. And isn't that so interesting? Oh my gosh, I can't even think about that too hard. That's, see, it's these things. 6 of Cups, I love this, playing with this, they've got little swords made out of sticks. So good. 7 of Cups, perfect. All the different choices there. 8 of Cups. What's coming off the side there? Oh, it's a whole bunch of broken cups, so they've tossed them overboard. And are like, we're done with this. We're going forward. 9 of Cups. And 10. I love this, the jellyfish. Alright, we've got our page. So all the pages, I believe, are mermaids. Knights are sailors, and then we get the king and queen. The knight, doesn't he look so friendly? I love this Knight of Cups. The queen, beautiful, submerged in the sea. Control of the emotions here on her right side. Left side, I guess, if we're, I don't know, anyway. And then the King of Cups. And I think this is a really interesting thing where the queen has this, like, subtle control over the waters, where with the King of Cups, the water more so bends around him, which is very interesting. All right, swords. We got the ace, 2 of swords, 3. I really like this, how they're all crossed over each other. They're kind of dripping with blood. Something's happened there, you know, that now we gotta process and think about. 4 of swords. It feels restful in a different kind of way than we usually see. Like, I imagine being on this smaller boat by yourself, very contemplative, which really makes a lot of sense with the sword suit. 5 of swords, cannons! Oh my gosh, I love this. Paul and I were playing Sea of Thieves for a bit with some other friends. It was really fun, but it started getting real glitchy, so that's why we stopped, but I used this deck with that video game. It's so fun. It fits so perfectly. And this made me think of that. 6 of swords, I love this. Through this cave opening. 7 of swords, ooh, again, really cool. There's a, truly like a two-facedness to the figure. Really cool. 8 of swords, look at this. This wasn't even brought up in the guidebook. We've got those kraken tentacles again. I love that return to the devil of like, it feels like you're trapped in this, but you aren't. You always have choice. And then there he is again in the Nine of Swords, perfect. And I like this, it's like we've got ink, squid ink coming in. Feels like this thing of like, while you're in that anxiety, it's so hard to see clearly. Ten of Swords, not a good day for this guy. Not a good day for him. Okay, we've got the Page, I love this. The little shield and cape and sword, so cool. Knight of Swords, practicing his sword fighting. Definitely makes sense. I love this queen. Her glasses, her little Harry Potter glasses, so good. And how, again, it's like all these clouds in the air around her. And again, through this hand, we see a very subtle control of the air. The King of Swords, where here it's like the air is much more even. I love this idea of like the air being a bit more chaotic around the queen and like a bit more even and still around the king is very interesting. All right, last suit, we've got the Ace of Pentacles. The 2, so perfect, the balance here. 3, I love, again, it's like so simple but says so much because first of all, the teamwork it takes to build a ship, but then also to effectively utilize a ship of that size takes a lot of people working together. 4 of Pentacles, so perfect. To me, it's like the captain hoarding that treasure. 5 of Pentacles, I mean, yeah. They are definitely at a loss there. 6, money being transferred. 7 of Pentacles. The sails are up here, so it's sort of like either they've got the anchor down, or they're very slowly coming into port, but it requires patience and checking in on their progress. The 8 of Pentacles, we're back to some map making, which makes so much sense because map making is such a practiced skill and trade. Cool. Nine of Pentacles, I mean, yeah, perfect. Enjoying the fruits of his labor. 10 of Pentacles is interesting, huh? I'm curious about this one. Let's look at this in the guide. The 10 of Pentacles generally represents a time when we feel as though we have everything we could ever want in a material sense. This card portrays all of these things in 10 little boats on the water. Each boat holds a material element. Oh, how cool. That is so neat. Okay, I like it. All right, we've got our Page with her little bags of coins. Knight of Pentacles. The Queen, isn't this gorgeous? Again, I love how she's brought to that land there. So beautiful. And our King. Okay, I'm very excited about this. I think they did a great job bringing this to the mass market, and if anything, I mean, I love my indie edition, I do. However, I wouldn't say that it was, the indie edition had any sort of like real special feeling cardstock per se, and it was hard to shuffle. So given that let's give this one a shuffle. Yes. Okay, that is amazing, because I could not get my hands around the other one. And then even so, it was a bit stiff. Oh my gosh, amazing. I think this, like, one of the very few times where I feel like I have an indie edition and then get the mass market version, and I'm like, yeah, I think the mass market's actually a bit better. I think this is, because it's easier to shuffle, the cardstock's but still really nice. You get the guidebook with it in a tuck box. That was the other thing too, is that the, well, maybe it did come in a tuck box, the other one, but it kind of fell apart pretty quick. Anyways, I think this is fantastic, truly fantastic. If you've been looking at this deck, I think this is definitely the version to get personally. I really love it. I really, really do. All right, should we do some pairings? Let's do some pairings. It's an interesting one because it's not like a new deck to me, but I don't know if I have something that I really pair this deck with. So why not? Let's take a look. All right, I've got two here to try today because I could not find one of my mermaid decks. So I gotta look for that. I have a feeling I probably packed my summery kind of decks away somewhere. Anyways, but let's start with, I don't know, Art Through the Eyes of the Soul. I thought this could be interesting. So let's see. Doesn't really match the theme, but I don't know. I don't know. Something feels like it could be right there. Oh, am I correct? Now, I don't think this deck looks exactly the same now. I think maybe it doesn't have the board. I don't know. This is an old version I got on eBay. But it is still available. I'll have a link below. Ooh, I think I like this. Because I think the gold frame on here, yes, see this, that's the box cover, and that's what made me want to grab it. Lady of the Lake, I guess that makes sense, but the gold frame is really matching with this deck, I feel like. And since this is very, very illustrated with a bit more of a pared down tarot, oh, I like this. And something about this deck to me feels very watery. Yes, I like that. Okay. Art Through the Eyes of the Soul. That's a win. I feel like the newer version would work too, I'm sure. But okay, second one I've got, I should say, Miss and Mermaids. Of course, we gotta try the mermaid decks. I have a new one I got from Running Press as well that I'm sure I will be making a video for. But I haven't opened it yet because I like doing first impressions. So, but that would probably go here too. This I don't know. I don't know about the art style. But I mean, thematically it goes. So, well, wait, do I like it? Wait, maybe I like it. Actually, yeah. I mean, it works. I think it's fine. I don't think it's amazing, but I don't hate it. Let me show the cover of the other one. I don't even know when this one is out, but it's the Mermaids Oracle Deck and Guidebook. You can see that's more the illustration style. I think this is gonna go better. So I'll show that at some point when that's all opened up. You know what? In that, when I make a video for that deck, I will try to remember to use this as one of the pairings at the end for that. Yes, that's what we'll do. All right. But I think that's all I got today. So other than that, I hope you're all having a fantastic day so far. Let me know what you think about this one. The Tempest Tarot. I'm really excited about this edition. I think it's awesome. Very cool. All right. But yeah, I'll see you again very soon.